We are here on a little sad Monday. Well, the only reason it's sad is because it's Monday and we're here and not in bed. If you hadn't done so yet, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell as I get all my doodads plugged in. Don't know if you get to hear the like I do. All right. So here's the deal for my Algebra 2 students. Now, if you are one of the tens of people around the world, I didn't say hundreds or thousands, it was tens. It's okay. All right, tough crowd. Uh, I'm actually, if what I'm going to do is we're reviewing for our quadratic practice test. You will actually see me toggle between this tab and this tab because in my classes, I allow an orange sheet, like a formula sheet, for you to have like a legal cheat sheet. Okay. And this is because in the real world, there's lots of stuff that's open notes. And you even get a formula sheet on the ACT. Yes. Yeah, both sides. Hey, and even if you get really creative, you can write on the edge of it if you're that good. All right. So, this is kind of some of the things that I would do. For part 1 on my orange sheet, I would probably write this. Why is it green? I wouldn't write in green. All right. I would actually write that equation down because that's what we need to answer our stuff. Okay. We should know that our AOS is x equals h. Our vertex is hk. All right. Now, that's all I would write personally for this. Okay. You may need to write an example. That's fine. Okay. But that's all I would write for this. So if you copy exactly what I do, that means you think exactly like I do. That means that the world is in danger because there's two of us. Okay. I was supposed to have a twin, but I absorbed them in the womb. So, now I have the power of a man and a baby. Power up. All right. So it's supposed to be, that looks like, I don't know what color that is, like pollen yellow or something on the board. It's supposed to be orange. It's orange on my screen. All right. So now, here's the deal. You're going to get points for filling every blank on here out on the test. I just forgot to write the actual stuff. All right. For number 1, our A is right here. That's 1. Our H is the opposite of this, which is 8. Now, remember, like we just did on our notes right here, we can write 8 here and here because that's where they go. All right. Our K value is -6, and it goes here. Okay. Now, again, if you wanted to write this example, either one of these examples for part 1, you can. Okay. Just depends on what you can and cannot remember. Please remember that the orange sheet is a note to your future self. Okay. It's kind of like when they were recording mushrooms. Okay. This one tastes good. This one tastes bad. This one killed Bobby. Okay. So, you got to. Tough crowd. Tough crowd. Okay. So, all right. So let's look at number 2. Number 2. All right. So, our A for number 2 is -5. All right. Our H is the opposite. This is going to be -3. This goes here. This also goes here. All right. Then our K is a +9, and it goes here. All right. Now, if you need to write both examples on here. All right. I'm going to give y'all some time to write this down. Then I'm going to go back to the orange sheet to kind of, you know, like I would do one. Remember, the orange sheet is what Mr. Jeffries would do. Okay, that there's a whole movement. There's bracelets, lanyards, T-shirts, WWJD. What would Jeffries do? Okay, so it's pretty big. It's worldwide. All right, so I would actually do something like this, like y equals. All right, like I would say example, and then I would say like a equals 2, h equals 3, k equals 4. My AOS is x equals 3. And my vertex is 3, 4. Okay, that's just something I would do. Okay, do you have to do that the exact way? No. Okay, I saw somebody one time, they got really extravagant. They like started doing drawings. They had like dogs and cats and unicorns and fairies and no. Okay, wow, tough crowd. Tough crowd. All right. So that was part 1. Okay, you'll probably get points wise, this is 2 points, 2, 2, this is 2, and this will also be 2. Okay, so very easy way to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times. That's very easy way to get 20 points really quick. Okay. All right. Now, this is, correct me if I'm wrong. Did y'all have a problem on the Schoology assignment last week that looked something like this where it was a drop down? Okay. Some of y'all were like, what the heck? Yeah. How many of y'all thought I got really diabolical when I was making that up? Okay. Thank you. I kind of did. All right. So if 5 is our H right here, this should go 4 and 3 and 6 and 7. Okay. Now, our A value is 1. All right. So what is 1 times 1? Okay, good. 1. So we have to say -2 plus 1, which is -1, goes here and here. Then we have, let's do this, 3 times 1, which is 3. So these two would be -1 plus 3, which is 2. All right. Now, I'm going to finish part 2, and then I'm going to show you what I would do for the orange sheet. You don't have to copy it. You can, exactly, because that'll take some time. All right. One problem on this. Okay. I'm, again, not trying to, if y'all can do this once, you can do it 1,000 times, right? Or do y'all want 1,000 of those? No. Okay. All right. So if a quadratic has a positive a value, then its max is infinity and the min is the vertex. If the quadratic has a negative a value, okay, that means that the max is the vertex and the min is negative infinity. Okay. This 4 and 5 right there, that is strictly from your notes. That is the direct thing from your notes. Okay. The only thing is, we hadn't been filling in the blanks with the words and stuff. We've actually been doing it with like, okay, if this is our A value, it's this and blah, 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 right? Well, I kind of wanted to change that a little bit. Okay. A little spicy. Okay. Not too much because, I'm Caucasian. I can't handle that much spice. So. Now, my uncle, on the other hand, he can like put his tongue on a lit match just to get the taste. I mean, he likes everything hot. All right. If I were you, okay, and I was taking these notes for my orange sheet, I'd say part 2. I would literally just put, and this is why I say you could just copy all this in later. I would literally put everything in there. The reason why, which part of 3, 4, and 5 do you think is going to change the most? Yeah, literally, this is the only one that's going to change. 4 and 5 is exactly as it is. 4 and 5 are the same on the test. Okay. Yeah. So I would literally just copy that. Like as we're taking notes, you could probably put like copy part 2 here. Okay. Because we got to kind of move on. That way we can give you time to ask questions and stuff before we have to leave today. All right. Did you see any graphs on this stuff today? No, there is one thing that was missing that should be on here. Who knows what that is? Nobody. Awesome. You should have an H equals a K equals and a A equals. Okay? Because I know when we were doing these in class, somebody said, "Hey, we should have this," and I agree. Okay, I just forgot to do it. Again, it's not a Jeffrey's assignment if there's not a mistake. Okay. All right. So, where do our points repeat? What y values repeat? 8 and 8. All right. That means that this is my H value. This is my K value. All right. Now, 6. My A value. How do I go from here to the next number? Okay, plus 2. So my A is positive 2. Whew. I was getting really worried. I didn't know if y'all were not awake, if y'all didn't know. Just can't have nothing. All right. So now, for your orange sheet right here, see, this is part 3. I would probably do something like this. Like, look for y values to repeat HK in middle A equals K to next number. Okay, that's what I would write. And this is very similar to the notes that you had, believe it or not. I mean, I can pull it up. I love it when I have students who are like, we never covered this. Yes, we did. Okay. And that's just kind of what I would do. Okay. Now, you may want to do it differently. You may want to write it neater. You may want to be like, hey, weirdo, this is what you got to do. Sometimes I'm mean to myself when I take notes. Is anybody else like that? Is anybody like, hey, you kept on messing up on this? No? So I'm the only one that's mean to myself? Okay, good stuff. Good things. Roll Tide. All right. So, again, we needed our AH and K. That was my bad. So we look for the Y values to repeat. Okay, these happen to be 450. All right. That means my H value is here. My K value, my K value is here. All right. And to get my A value, it's K to the next number. All right. So, like, how did we get from 50 to 450? Yeah, we subtracted 50. All right. So now I just plug it in. All right. That's what I would do. Okay. And we'd already have the notes for that um, on the first one or whatever. Just however you needed to understand. All right. I was talking to somebody this past week about y'all's orange sheet that I'll allow y'all to do, and I was talking about the PE, the professional engineering exam, and this guy's he's an engineer, he's a civil engineer. He works for the FBI, so he might know his stuff. He was going for his test, and he had he said there was a guy that had a wagon, like a foldable wagon that you see at like the parks, and they had binders of all this stuff, and then they had a crate with other binders, and the crate was a reference to which stuff was where. Like they were just that organized. That wasn't him. He says I went in with like a couple of things. This guy had like stuff on top of stuff. So, yeah. All right. So, for our orange sheet for part 4, I would write this down. Okay. To remind myself that, hey, this is a different type of formula that we're using on the first page. Notice that part 4 is not only separated from part 1 by like another section, but it's also on the back. Hopefully to keep you from getting that too confused. Okay. That's a hope. Now, we'll see. All right. So this would be 2, 4, and 6. Boy, I got really adventuresome with the numbers this morning, didn't I? All right, never mind. All right, so I just plug stuff in. All right, this ends up being -4 over 4, which is -1. Okay. This value here also goes here. Okay, because that's the axis of symmetry. That's the x value for my vertex also. And then we plug it in here. That is the wrong equation. I knew I couldn't have nothing. All right, so a little white out happening. All right, so this is 2. I got to move that down. 2 squared plus 4 plus 6. All right, now we can plug it in because now it's the right stuff. Is somebody saying something to me? Okay. I don't know. My good ear is not actually at 100% because I've got fluid on it from this weather change stuff, and everybody sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher to me. All right. Again, if we plug it in, as we see in the calculator, we end up getting 4. So that goes there. All right. Now again, for our orange sheet, I would literally just copy. I know I've got to change the directions because it said max and min. Okay. Guys, I was a straight up student. When I wasn't here, I was not thinking about this test. Yes, ma'am. No, you actually had, that's a good question. The question was, wouldn't 2 times -1 be -2 and then you square it? Remember our order of operations, we actually would do this part first. Yeah, that's why that's one reason I'm tell y'all to plug it in the calculator just as it's written, because the calculator goes by the order of operations, and if you're not strong with that, if you just follow this pattern, the calculator will give you the right answer. Okay? And remember, I'm the teacher that makes fun of people that don't use calculators. But that was a good question, though. All right. So if we do this problem, this is 2 times 1 plus -4 plus 6. All right. So this is 2 -4 plus 6. This is -2 plus 6, which is 4. It's a Monday, and you haven't finished your hot chocolate. But again, that's a good question because some people may have not used a calculator and they might have the same question or the same issue. Yeah, a lot of people do. All right, so I already see that I messed up again um, right here. So let me just, yeah, it's, yeah. So this should be -3 squared 12. And I'll get it together for the test, guys. All right, so this is -3, this is 12, this is 8. This should be -12 over -6, which is 2. All right. 2, 2. All right. We plug this in. We actually get 20. Well, you should once you fix the thing that I didn't, because, you know. All right. And again, on the, remember on our orange sheet, this is what we had. We just basically copied number 8, just to make sure that we had something, super similar to what was going on. All right. Sorry. Sickness. I'm down with the sickness. Get it? Okay. Now, what happens when you tell the same joke twice? It doubles in size. Okay. So, part 5. This is what I would do. All right. So, if it looks like this is if the y is being eaten, we shade up. All right. If the y is not being eaten, we shade down. If there's no line underneath the inequality sign, it's dotted. If there is a line, it's solid. Okay. And then again, after I had that written down on my orange sheet, I would probably copy down some of the problems, if not all of them, from this section. Okay. Because this is what's funny. On this section right here, we could care less what is after the inequality symbol. I want to highlight exactly what we need to look at to be able to answer this. I could put up some of the weirdest numbers in there and it doesn't matter. I might do that tomorrow now. All right. So, this right here, that's the only thing we need to worry about. That little highlighted column will tell us everything that we need to know right there. All right. So, for number 10, is there a line? No, it's dotted. Y being eaten? No, shade down. Okay. Line underneath? No, dotted. Y being eaten? Yes, shade up. Line underneath? Yes, solid. Y being eaten? No, shade down. Solid. And then down. Huh, I didn't change that one. That's funny. Normally there's like one of each or two of each, but I didn't make it that way. All right. So again, for our orange sheet, I would basically, because these are good examples, even though that they may not look good, I would actually just kind of write this, copy this down, say, look here, there's our answers. All right. So now for those leaving us, don't forget, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell, make good choices, good stuff, good things. Roll Tide.